NBA Draft Player Scouting Reports. Today we are talking about Matas Buzelis. This is one of my very favorite players in this draft class. He is second on our big board. We collaborated with Riley Davis and Brian Ralph on the top 75 players in this NBA draft. Buzelis is second on our list behind Stephon Castle. You can go watch that video on the channel right now. But I think we're collectively very high on Buzelis compared to where he is appearing in mocks right now. Kid that almost played college basketball, ended up going into the G League Ignite program, and had a little bit of a moment at the Rising Stars competition this year where he was talking that shit and hit a game winner and having some moments. We like guys like that. Car, give me your general overview breakdown of Matas Buzelis as a player. Why do you like him?
Well, I love, first of all, I love the edge that he actually has. Like you brought up the Rising Stars game. I like to bring up where he had, I believe it was him calling out another wing in the draft. It might have been Reicher, the wing from France. He's like, you put me in the gym with that guy, I'm better than him. So I don't know why that guy's ranked ahead of me. I absolutely love that. And then outside of those intangible things like that, I think that he has the size at 6'8". He has the bounce, a little bit frail at this point, but he's young, so that could improve. He can run in the open floor. He can make plays in the open floor. He's got like a bag a little bit. Like his shot making is versatile. He doesn't have to be necessarily a spot up shooter. He can hit a variety of jumpers, pull ups, step backs, fall aways. I think the bag for shot making is there. Even if the 3-point shot has some way to come. And I think at his size, he does have the potential to be good defensively. Like honestly, I'll come straight up and say it. Buzelis is my favorite prospect in this draft. I think he's gonna be the best player to come out of this draft.
Mm.
I'm all in on the Buzelis train.
I love that. I didn't know he was your number one. Yeah, I was close. He was my number two on my big board. I think he was productive. Like if you look at his high school stats before he went to the G League, he was the player of the year in the state of Kansas, averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks a game. And then he went to the G League and he's pretty good in the G League, like not mind blowing by any means, but definitely had a good season with the G League Ignite. 14 points a game, only shot 27% from three, so that is a question, I think. But 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Like at his size as a wing, like he really can serve as a rim protector and a creator and a scorer. He just I think he has less weaknesses than many of the players in this draft class. Like you can drop him on an NBA team, and I really have no questions about him cracking the rotation on day one. Let's get to some of our categories. Obviously, we are both high on Matas Buzelis, but let's just jump right into this. One word to describe Matas Buzelis.
Dynamic. I think he's dynamic. I think the size, the different things he can do, shot making, like I pointed out, the defense potentially has. I think he can be a playmaker as well to go along with the shot making. I think he's a dynamic prospect at his size.
I think he is very dynamic. My word is competitor. I just can't shake the image of him shit talking after that game winner. Like, dog, he hit a fadeaway over Brandon Miller, and there were like 7 NBA starters on the court, and he was just talking that cash. Like, let him know the G League kid that's not even in the draft yet is cooking. He's the best player on the floor. And I'm always going to have that image in my mind when I think of Matas. He's a dog. Is he more likely to hit his floor or his ceiling? If he's your number one player on your board, I would assume you think ceiling.
Big ceiling.
Big ceiling for me as well. I think it's much more likely this kid becomes the best case version of himself than the worst case version. What's the best team fit for Matas Buzelis?
I have the Pistons as the best team fit for him because I want him to be a Piston. There is some bias involved in this, but I truly think that he can bring. I think he can bring a playmaker on the wing, which I don't know if the Pistons necessarily have right now. Like I don't think Asar is a playmaker. K is really the only playmaker on this team right now, and he's the point guard position. I think there needs to be some secondary like playmaker starter on this team that can also provide like a punch as well. And I think that he can be that type and, not to spoil things, but once we do get to the player comp, I feel you'll kind of see the vision I have for Modest.
So I think he can be, or sorry, I think Asar can be a facilitator. But That's beside the point. I think I would like him in Detroit. That's my answer as well, because I think he needs to go to a spot that has a primary star where he can be the Robin to the Batman. And some of the other teams at the top of the draft have a Robin already. Some of the teams don't even have the superstar yet. Like if you drop him on Atlanta, I'm concerned he becomes like fourth option deprioritized. If you drop him on Washington, they might ask him to be the superstar. If you drop him on Houston, I'd fear for anybody that gets added to Houston right now, to be honest. And if you drop him on San Antonio, I think like, could he be the second to Wemby? Maybe, but that's actually a spot I like. But Detroit's the perfect fit because he would be the two to Cade's one. Um, and then it would allow the other guys to step back and be roles. And there's big opportunity there, which I think is something I want to see happen for Matas for sure. What do his peak year stats look like? The very best season of his career. What are his numbers?
Oh, I have him at 19, 6, and 4.
Hmm. I'm higher than you are, which surprises me. I have him 21, 7, and 3. Uh, very close, similar, but I think yeah, we see him as like not a 25 a game scoring type, but a guy who kind of does it all, rebounds well, block shots, passes as well. In 5 years, which one of these categories is he? He could be all NBA, an all-star, a starter, off the bench, in the G League, overseas, or a podcaster.
I think he will be an all-star in the next 5 years. I do, especially if he goes to the Pistons. Turns the team around a little bit. They start winning a little bit more. You see what he adds to the basketball team early on, and then maybe there's that jump in year 4, year 5, where it's like, okay, this guy's not like he might be Robin, but he's also an NBA all-star.
Yeah, I agree. I also have him as an all-star. There's only two players right now I have classified as thinking that they'll be an all-star in 5 years. Buzelis is one of them. I'm starting to think maybe I should have ranked him at the top of my draft board too. I really like him as we talk through this. Most likely to, superlative style here. Out of all the players in this draft, Matas Buzelis is the most likely to.
He's the most likely to be listed as the #1 pick on a Bleacher Report redraft article in 5 years. And also tune in to Bleacher Report, streams there happening all the time.
That's really good. Yeah, I could 100% see that. Uh, he's most likely to have a random, unexplainable growth spurt.
Like
Like,
Mont just comes back 6'11".
yeah, well, he's already 6'10", but like, I'm talking like in two years into his career, Buzelis is just like 7'1" now.
I think you just gave Modest about 2 inches he does not have.
He's not 6'10"?
I think he's 6'8".
I swear to God, he's listed at 6'10".
We got to get on the same page height-wise. There's never a scenario where we are.
We truly are never correct on this. He's a 6'10", 209-pound forward.
What the hell?
Yeah, but that's the thing, Card. In a couple years, he might just be 7'1" after a good summer. Like,
Got it.
doesn't he look like he looks like he's not done growing yet?
Yeah, someone check his knees. Check those growth plates.
All right, that's the video. But in summary here, did we just talk ourselves heavily into Matas Buzelis?
I have a son that's due in September. His first name may or may not be Montes.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.